Okay, tell me.
Melissa Capello.
Can you tell me a little bit about your story, Melissa? What happened with the flooding here?
I had been gone for about a month with both of our mothers in the hospital, and we came home Thursday night, and Friday morning I got a phone call that school had been canceled. So we had her come home, and about 10 o'clock we realized something's not right. And by 10:30 the next morning we got out with our clothes and our dogs, and we took all of our pictures with us and had to walk away pretty much from everything else. We came back in 4 days later with 6 foot of water in my house, and they're going to demolish it. They've declared it substantially damaged. But the way our government officials are doing it, so far there's only 2 houses on the street that's being demolished. Everybody else is being allowed to rebuild. So it's just been real uneven. Not everybody has the same story. We've been here 26 years, planned our retirement here. This was our first house that we bought. We've raised all of our kids here. It's going to be better.
Yes.
But it's a hard road to walk right now.
It is.
So,
Can you tell me about your son's flags?
my son spent a tour in Afghanistan. He was 5 years in the Marines, and they allowed the Marines to have flags that were flown over missions, saved with certificates, and brought back to their families. We had 3 of them, and thankfully when I took my pictures out, I took out my flag. And but the kids' flags they're ruined, full of mold and so forth. They're going to have to be destroyed. And I have my kids though, because when we evacuated, I had to separate my kids. My 2 girls went, and one of the dogs went to one place, and my son stayed here with us, my older son, and we got them back. What, about 3 or 4 days later, Ashton? Yeah, my girls were separated almost a week. Where we evacuated to almost got water and lost electricity and cable. So we didn't really know what was going on. We didn't know how bad it was in the rest of the city. We knew nothing. We only knew we were trying to survive. And a neighbor called and said we can get back in. And that's when we came and began demolishing and took out everything. So if you have to go to the restroom, I'm sorry, there's not one. There's nothing here.
One more question. So one of the things we're doing when we're talking to people, just because I know this has been such a hard time, but if you were looking towards the future, what is your hope for Louisiana? What is your hope for the people that have been through this?
That the rest of the country take us serious and quit believing that we all live in the bayou. We're normal people. Right now, the Hurricane Matthew is getting all the media attention. I had friends that lived in Philadelphia that did not know that my house was underwater until I was able to get power back 5 days later. There was no media attention here. And then once the media did come, there's been a lot of hurtful comments that, well, you shouldn't even live there. Okay, well, should you live in California? There's earthquakes. There's blizzards up north that destroy people's houses when they melt. We're not below sea level here, and we're not idiots. We're just trying to make a living and raise our families just like everybody else. And it's time that the rest of the country realize that also. Our senators and congressmen have had a very hard time getting funding and everything in Congress, getting the help that they need because of those attitudes. I think that's what I would want the country to know. We're real just like you are.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
It so needs to be said. That's probably the
This was my cry for the day. I get a cry every day.
What can we do for you? What do y'all need? Anything specific that we can try to look for?
Not that I can think of.